Your behaviour, I feel harassed, alarmed.
You can't be harassed, you're an officer.
If you come back,
arrest me now.
I will be arresting you for harassment under the Harassment Act, okay?
Arrest me.
It's a security concern that you're
But it's not,
taking
how's it
photographs
security?
and you're taking images and videos, as you're clearly doing right now,
Yeah.
of police officers coming and going, or police staff coming and going from this station.
That's correct.
Right? You could do anything with that information. You could be passing that on to anyone, and that is a massive security concern from our point of view. So, why are you doing it, and who are you?
Is photography illegal?
Photography is not illegal, no.
Am I on public?
You are on public.
That's all I need to know then.
You've clearly done your research, mate,
I have.
okay? I want you to answer my question.
So if I've done my research, and you know I've done my research...
It's the third time you've been seen today taking pictures of staff members' cars coming in and out of this police station.
Right, okay.
So what are you doing with that information?
Taking photos.
Why?
Exactly.
Why?
Because I can. What makes you think I'm directly looking for license plate?
If there is an innocent explanation,
then just,
why are you not willing to pass it to us when I asked you?
Why? Because it's my right.
It's not your right.
It's my right.
Stand here and take pictures of people's personal.
Are you saying it's not my right to stand? So I can't stand in public.
You don't have an automatic right to be able to take pictures of people's personal.
I think you need to read up on photography.
No right. Okay, you tell me where that right is then. No right.
I believe your chief of police sent out.
They step forward and immediately try to frame him as a threat. But as soon as they are challenged with basic facts, their argument begins to unravel. Straightforward points about the law and the exact location should be simple to explain if their concern is truly valid, yet their answers fail to match the position they are trying to defend. One officer even claims there is no right to stand in a public place and take photographs, which has no basis in any real restriction, and sounds more like a personal belief being pushed as if it were an official rule. When Chuz refers to guidance issued by their own force regarding filming, it places them under even greater pressure because now they are not only contradicting public understanding, but also going against their own internal policy. At that stage, it becomes obvious that the situation is no longer about correctly applying the law, and instead reflect a breakdown in knowledge and consistency.
Firstly, none of you have identified yourselves.
I don't need to identify myself. You need to identify yourself.
Well, no, I don't. You're an officer of the. You're claiming to be an officer of the law, demanding that a random member of the public not be allowed to record.
Not a random member of the public.
Well, I am.
You've made a choice to stand here and film police.
And you've made the choice to come out. I get your name and badge number.
Badge number's just there.
What's your name?
Badge number's there if you want it. You don't need to ask me questions. I need to ask you questions.
Okay then.
Here.
Why is it weird for me to record license plates, but yet you have a police van there that's a camera van, I'm assuming, and yet the cars are on camera, I don't know, 300-400 times a day?
Sorry, I don't understand what your question is. What are you asking me?
Why is it weird for me to record a license plate, if that's what I was doing, that you're claiming that I was doing? But yeah, it's okay. But it's okay for you guys to record license plate.
What are you doing then? Because if that's not what you're doing, then I don't need to.
I'm taking photos.
Of what?
Well, as he was coming out, I was taking a photo of the gate.
Another point that becomes impossible to ignore is the way they attempt to shape the rules entirely in their favor while avoiding the same standards themselves. They are quick to demand his identity, yet fail to properly introduce themselves, which is a basic part of professional conduct that includes giving a clear name or warrant number along with their role. Ignoring that responsibility while insisting he must identify himself turns accountability upside down and shows a clear imbalance in how authority is being applied. Those who hold power are expected to be open and transparent, yet here that principle is being overlooked completely. When Chuz raises the issue of why filming is being treated as suspicious, especially when officers themselves regularly record vehicles and individuals during their duties, there is no meaningful explanation and only a dismissive response. This sharp contrast exposes the inconsistency.
We're police officers, and you will appreciate that we have people that have issues with us, and having someone stand outside with a camera, having someone stand outside with a camera, claiming to be taking pictures of the fence, is going to be a concern for us as police officers.
Is it illegal? Is it illegal? It doesn't matter why I'm taking pictures.
It's not a matter of legal or illegal,
well, it is.
It? It's a matter of concern for our own personal safety and for the safety of the officers in here. It doesn't matter whether it's legal or not legal. We have the right to ask you what you're doing.
You have the right, but I don't have to tell you why.
Well, if you don't,
because it's my personal reason.
Then we will just ask you to move on, and if we see you again, then you can be arrested.
But you can't.
For a breach of the peace.
But you can't move me on. I'm on public.
We can move you on from wherever I want to move you on from. It doesn't matter if you're on public, so why don't you go back and do your research?
I don't need to. Stepdad's a lawyer, got a master's degree, so...
You're telling me I can't move you on because you're in public, and yes, I can move you on.
Under what law?
to prevent a breach of the peace.
And what breach? What breach am I?
If we believe that your actions are causing a breach of the peace,
well then go back in and let me finish what I'm doing, and then
it's not about me
then there's no officers.
I can't allow you to carry on doing what you're doing.
Well then I'll just come back later.
Come back later then, and you'll be arrested.
Rather than pointing to any clear or factual basis, she shifts the focus toward how people might feel about the police, as if public opinion can decide what someone is allowed to do in a lawful public space. When she is pressed on whether his actions are actually unlawful, she avoids giving a direct answer, and that silence speaks volumes, because legality is the one point that should be crystal clear if any intervention is justified. The mention of breach of the peace then enters a discussion, yet that power is intended for situations where there is a genuine risk of harm or disorder, not a calm interaction with no one else involved. Bringing up the possibility of arrest in this context only escalates matters further and turns a serious legal power into a method of pressure rather than something used out of...
Well then, or unless I'm breaking the law, I'm not moving. It's that simple. Is it not that simple?
It's not that simple.
It is that simple.
It's not, because you don't have to break in law. Like my colleague said, we can move you on to prevent a breach of the peace.
But there is no breach of the peace.
That's not a law break. Well, that's up to that's our opinion on whether it is.
Well, then I'd like to request a supervisor.
When you said it's that simple whether you're breaking a law,
I'd like
it's
a
not
supervisor
that simple. You don't demand what happens here. You don't ask us.
So you want me to move because you've demanded it?
Yes.
But you won't get a supervisor out because I've demanded it. A member of the public who pays your wages.
You don't pay my wages, no.
How do I not pay your wages?
You don't pay my wages. You don't give me any money, so no.
Well, it's public money. Laws on photography. Public law. If I'm in public, I can see it. Therefore, I can record it. Simple as that.
That's not public, is it?
But I'm on public.
Are you allowed to put your camera up against someone's window and film inside the house? You're not, are you?
If I can stand here.
No, you're not. You're not allowed to do that because.
But I'm on public.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You're not allowed to look in someone's window.
You are.
No, you're not. That is.
Go research. Go research.
I don't need to. I already know. You
Do
need
ya?
to research it.
Do that. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Let's agree to disagree on that.
No, I don't need to agree to disagree.
Okay.
Truly exposes a situation is when they reduce something as serious as breach of the peace to their own opinion, as if it is a flexible tool they can use whenever they choose. It does not work that way because this power has a clear legal threshold connected to real disorder or an immediate risk of it rather than a personal judgment. The same pattern appears again when he requests a supervisor and is told he cannot demand one while at the same time they feel comfortable directing where he can and cannot stand. That imbalance reveals a great deal about their approach because proper oversight is a key part of accountability and not something that should be dismissed. The issue of the car park is then introduced, yet it does not alter the situation from his position, since being in a public place generally allows what is visible to be recorded. This ties directly into the next point, which further highlights the gap between their claims and the actual rules.
How do I request the footage?
You can't request it.
Of course you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. Under the Freedom of Information Act.
No,
yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You're lying now. Yes, you are. Bullshitting. Clearly.
So you think you can request any evidence that we have?
Not any.
Well then.
Being detained, officer?
At the moment.
No? Oh, okay.
Stay here though while they talk.
Am I being detained?
Stay here a second.
Am I being detained?
I will detain you in a second if you don't
What
stop
for?
there.
What law?
Because they're having a chat, aren't they?
For what law? What law? Under what grounds?
Just go back down there.
I'm alright, don't touch me. That's battering. I'm not impeding my right to travel, officer.
Hey?
Right, if you come back to this police station
Yep.
and I see you here again, right,
Yep.
I am telling you that by your behaviour, I feel harassed, alarmed.
You can't be harassed, you're an officer.
Right, not true. I feel
You're an
harassed.
officer of the law.
I feel
Look it up.
harassed.
Look it up.
Right, I feel harassed.
Arrest me now then.
Right, okay.
Arrest me now.
If you come back, arresting you for
Arrest me now.
harassment under
Arrest
the
me now.
Harassment Act, okay?
Arrest me now.
No, I'm telling you, you're not listening, are you?
Alright then.
If you come back,
Back.
right. If you continue and you come back and you start filming my vehicle again, I'm
What, you
telling
in that
you,
one with the license plate?
I am telling you, I will nick you for harassment. Do anything with those images,
Well, like
okay?
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram,
Everything,
Twitter.
yeah, everything.
What about it?
We will be fining you, okay? And we'll be
Okay.
tracing your accounts, okay?
Confusion continues to grow as the interaction unfolds, and the statements given start to conflict with established procedures. When he is told that he cannot request body camera footage, it does not match the actual legal process because there are formal routes such as a subject access request under the Data Protection Act 2018, which allows an individual to obtain recordings of themselves. Dismissing that option suggests either a lack of understanding or an unwillingness to properly address it. The same contradiction appears again when they claim he is not being detained yet immediately warn him not to move or he will be, which weakens their own position since both statements cannot be true at the same time. The situation then escalates further with claims of harassment being introduced even though under protection from Harassment Act 1997 this requires a pattern of repeated conduct rather than a single instance of someone standing in a public place with a camera, and it certainly does not fit a scenario involving an officer on duty expressing distress in such circumstances.
Therefore,
I was taking photos.
yeah, why were you doing that? Because
I
you're
can.
causing them alarm. So you're causing them issues, yeah.
But I'm not there now.
I know, but you were, so I'm asking why you were.
Why? Because I was taking photos.
Yeah, you've just said that. Why? I understand
Because
you were
I
taking photos. Why were you causing them alarm up there?
I wasn't causing them alarm.
You were, because they've just told me that you were causing them alarm.
What, they told you or
Yes.
one of them told you?
Yeah, one of them told me. Yeah.
Right. Do you want me to tell you the whole incident rather than just what he said?
Tell me why,
Right.
why you're up there filming.
So I was up there, I was looking around some of the business
Yeah,
areas up there. There's
Yeah.
one, I was taking photos of one place where they fix
yeah.
rides
Why
and
were you
stuff
doing
like that. I don't want him near me. He's aggressive.
Right, leave then. Go.
I don't want to leave.
Leave.
Come back. Oh, that's not a personal phone. Freedom of Information Act on that.
Go.
Don't touch me.
Lee, I haven't touched you. You
I'm
said
just
you
saying.
don't want him near you, so go.
Yeah? Because I don't want him near me.
So
I was
go.
on
You
about
don't
him.
You don't need to stand outside the police station.
Am I free to go then?
Go.
Free to go, free to stay.
Problem is,
Oh, freedom of information on that. Oh, that's not a personal phone.
it's a work phone.
Oh, that's alright
Doesn't
then.
matter. What, so you can take pictures of me, but I can't take.
I'm in
pictures of you?
public.
I'm
You're
in
an
public.
officer of the law.
I'm in public.
You're on work.
I'm in public, yeah.
We learned something today, officers.
A license plate of a cop on YouTube,
Yeah.
people will know
Which is
that that's
public
a cop.
knowledge.
People know that that's a
You're
cop.
making it public knowledge. It's not public knowledge to everyone, is it? It might be to people.
I could stand outside on my street, you drive past in your personal car, and I've got your number.
Get back in there.
Yeah, no worries. Have a good day.
What becomes clear toward the end is how quickly the entire situation is shaped by complaint without properly verifying what actually happened. When he offers to explain his side, and that opportunity is not genuinely considered, it shows the direction of the interaction has already been decided before any facts are confirmed. When they return and start taking photos of him, the reasoning they rely on does not stand up to scrutiny. Comparing their actions to him, filming them overlooks a key difference because police officers operate with defined powers and responsibilities, and any use of those powers must have a clear and lawful purpose rather than simply copying behavior. Saying you filmed us so we can film you is not a legal basis and comes across as a reactive response rather than a justified action. By the time everything comes to a close, the pattern is impossible to miss as decisions appear to be made first and explanations are then added afterward in an attempt to support them. Whether it is relying on complaints stretching authority or making comparisons that do not fully apply, the interaction moves further away from anything solid or consistent. In the end, what remains is an encounter driven more by perception and reaction than by a steady and lawful